Welcome, dear friends. Welcome to IAS Mind Maps, the new YouTube channel, ensured at giving the aspirants a better way, a better approach of answer writing in the mains UPSC mains examination. So today's topic is social forestry and its role in the rural development. So social forestry or agroforestry, it's a very, very common topic, and especially for geography optional students. This topic is both in geography optional paper 1 as well as geography optional paper 2. In paper 1 it is in the unit 4 biogeography, social forestry oblique agroforestry, and in geography optional paper 2 it is in the unit of agriculture. So a crucial question may arise in either of the papers, in either of the geography optional papers, besides in general studies paper 1 in the geography portion. The question can come over social forestry. And if we analyze the recent trend of UPSC questions, a direct question is not coming over any topic. Analytical question, a question in which the thought process being checked is coming in the UPSC mains examination. So let's have a look if a question comes over this topic as the role of social forestry in rural development, how we are going to deal this topic in a very good way, a better approach, ensuring it getting the maximum marks with the minimum inputs around 5 to 6 minutes hardly in the examination hall. And as we know, in the mains, saving of a single minute or even 2 minutes can yield dividends, as the time can be utilized for some other question. So let's have a look over this topic, and let's have a look over how to deal with the question, such a topic. So in such a topic, let's have a look over two core words. There are two core words in this topic: social forestry and rural development. So in the introduction of such a answer, the answer of such a question will consist of definition of either of these two core words. First, the rural development. One must tell to the examiner, one must express in the paper that what one means by rural development. So rural development can be defined as the development of the rural areas in terms of agriculture, industry, human resource development, as well as proper resource utilization in a sustainable way. Apart from this, the word social forestry, one has to define it. It's a factual term coined by National Commission on Agriculture in 1976, and it meant planting of trees. It means even planting of trees by society, individuals, farmers, etc. on roadside land, on government land, on farms, on wasteland, etc. And one can see the very famous initiatives of Taru Mitra or tree planting organized by various colleges, schools, PSUs, even the banks also. So the introduction will consist of only these two core words. Let's have a look over the body. The body of the answer, we can substitute all the points with a very good mind map. Mind map is a flowchart which from one side, the flowchart lets the examiner know that the aspirant is very clear with the topic. Besides, the flowchart ensures that the aspirant expresses the maximum points in a minimum amount of space and time. So let's have a look. How does social forestry impact the rural areas in terms of resource utilization, as we see here, in terms of agriculture development, as we see here, in terms of industrial development, as we see here, and in terms of human resource development. First, let's have a look over resource utilization. So social forestry, meaning planting of trees, it will check soil erosion because the trees will have tap roots, and it will check soil erosion by holding upon the soil particles. Apart from it, the wastelands can be utilized by planting trees, and it will lead to proper land utilization. In short, a better resource utilization in the rural areas. Second, as the second sphere of rural development, agriculture development. So social forestry, that is planting of trees, will help minimize crop loss by saving from wind, wild animals. Besides, if we plant neem or some other trees, it can be some other specific trees which can act as whose residues can act as pesticides or insecticides. Apart from that, some trees can also be utilized for providing manure to the plants. So it can help in agriculture development. And one such example is neem tree. Neem cake can be utilized for improving the fertility as well as for removing the pests from the field. Apart from this, social forestry will also supplement the farmer income by giving forest produce to the farmer. Forest produce, example, the farmer can go for, he or she may go for honeybee keeping, oblique sericulture. Apart from this, the other forest produce, twigs, branches, it can be sold off in the market also. So ultimately these two things, it will lead to better and balanced agriculture and more income for the farmer. Farmer will get more income. Besides, this income will be sustainable throughout the year. Next, let's have a look over the next sphere, industrial development. How will social forestry help in the industrial development of the rural areas? Social forestry, that is planting of trees, will help in the setting up of forest-based industries like paper industry or matchmaking industry in the rural areas, which will give employment, more employment to the people out there, especially to the youth. Apart from this, one may go for setting up of cottage industries in the household. Cottage industries, yes. Example, basket weaving. Example, mat making. So these industries can be done in the household without putting in much investment or without putting in much capital. And this will lead to more income for the farmer. Lastly, as far as the human resource of the villages is concerned, planting of trees will ensure more oxygen availability, clean air, green surroundings for the people out there, which will lead to better health prospect. Ultimately, all these things will lead to sustainable rural development with more incomes, with better health prospects, with sustainable development, and with appropriate resource utilization. All in all, we can say that social forestry acts like a package for development of the rural areas. Besides, the aspirants can also mention examples, individual examples, to get more marks. For example, if they have a live example of setting of cottage industries anywhere in the villages where the social forestry or agroforestry has been done, they can quote examples, or they can quote examples in checking soil erosion wherever social forestry or agroforestry is held. This will yield maximum dividends for them. They will get good marks for this, as this will act as value addition. Besides, in the conclusion, one has to approach the you can say the topic in a very balanced way. What is the meaning of balanced way? So whenever a topic comes over role means a positive impact, role in development. So one also has to mention the shortcomings of the concept if possible, but in the conclusion only. So one might say that one might mention in the conclusion that social forestry would have led to rural development of all the regions across India, yet the regions could not develop because of planting of trees which were not good for the people out there, or planting of trees by the industrialist instead of the common man, or absence of common man's participation, the people's participation in the program. Or we can also mention that corruption in the social forestry initiatives in the government implementation of the program has led to the concept not being fully utilized for the rural development. And all in all, this will take around 5 to 7 minutes of time. And in geography optional paper 1 or paper 2, or in GS paper 1 also, whatever time we save from the 2 or 3 minutes, we can utilize it in some other question. So thanks a lot, friends, for listening to the video. We'll come back tomorrow with a new topic.